Tonight on TV6.
And they're coming now to cut your access to pensions and public assistance.
It's the UNC Secure Cottage meeting with political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa.
That bill will make it harder for pensioners to access it.
Tonight at 8 p.m.
When the budget, Imbert complained that there are too many pensioners costing too much money annually in his budget statement. And here comes this bill. Right in December, this bill came.
Tonight on TV6 at 8 p.m.
We stand united in the belief that if you empower community, the community empowers the country.
We are the party that gave every child a secondary school education since 2001.
By building more schools in 11 years than others did in 40. We believe that no child,
rich or poor, should be left behind.
Which is why we give every Form 1 student a laptop to expand their minds and their dreams.
We are the party that put police cars back on the streets
and gave the police a $1,000 bonus because we believe that we should support the persons who are protecting you.
We are the party that reduced the murder rate to its lowest in 14 years. We expanded GATE, stopped the property tax, and increased maternity leave.
We are the party that invested in you and your community by investing in schools, community centers, lighted parks, 24-hour health centers, and the most extensive road repair program in decades.
We believe that education is always the solution and that no one should have to pick between sending their child to school or buying food.
We are the party that works for you. We are the first responders in every situation, working to deliver a better standard of living for you and your family.
And most importantly, we have confidence in you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a campaign, it's a movement based on building communities and strengthening families.
Come out and join us, and together we will get the nation working and moving again. Our children will once again have access to GATE and technology.
We will improve healthcare
by cutting the time it takes to see a doctor in an emergency. We will establish a senior citizen unit in every major hospital and staff the hospital with the doctors and nurses you need to create a first-class healthcare system. We will focus on creating high-paying jobs, fixing our laws to remove red tape, and ensuring that you and your family are safer. We will reduce corporate taxes to jumpstart the economy, create a special investment zone along the East-West corridor, and work with entrepreneurs to build a digital economy. This is an investment in your community to move the nation forward and get TNT working again.
Whether you are from 4th Street in Barataria to Railway Road in Dow Village, from Green Street in Tunapuna to Clark Road in Dibay, from La Hoqueta to Moruga, from Mayaro to Scarborough, we are one people with the same dreams of a better tomorrow. And when we stand together, we win together. We are UNC and proud.
Do you know that in 2016, 66 liters of diesel cost $100? Today, under the PNM, you get 20 liters of diesel for $100. The diesel you paid $100 for under the UNC now costs $327 under the PNM, which directly affects the cost of food, transport, and services. Guess who I'm voting for next time?
Good evening. Good evening to the masses of UNC rank and file persons here. Chairman of our proceedings tonight, Senator Wade Mark. All our parliamentarians gathered here and former parliamentarians as well. I say season's greetings to all of you. And I'm inspired and delighted to meet with you. As I say, thank you for coming out tonight. Also, thank you to the thousands of viewers on the live streams in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, in Canada, the USA, England, and elsewhere. They could not be with us here in person, but when you look at the views, you know they're watching on from wherever they are in Trinidad and Tobago and elsewhere. I want to really ask you, you can't see the screens, unfortunately. Is there any screen in the audience? Okay, great. So I'm going to ask them to put up a slideshow of our events in 2024, UNC events, okay? So can we get that up? Kevin, please. We stand today united because you, rank and file members, have never given up hope for a better Trinidad and Tobago. You have never given up. You have stood with our party through these past deadly 9 years. We stand here united today because we believe the scripture which says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. In the house of the rising sun, our lights shine bright and clear, clearing away the darkness. Our light shines brighter and brighter with each passing day because of the strength and loyalty of our loving members of the UNC. Tonight I say we thank Almighty God for watching over us. We thank everyone who prays for us, who believe in us, and stand with us because your prayers, your words of encouragement, your support have kept us and built us up stronger than ever before. Together we are on the pathway towards government, towards victory. And I say, we are UNC and we are proud. We are UNC and we are proud. In the coming year, we'll continue our Monday night meetings, pavement reports, town halls, and I want to introduce some new formats as we go forward into the election to widen our communications reach. I want to give special thanks today, this evening, to the communications team who work with me as leader of the opposition, Sasha, Kevin, Michael, and Tank for their hard work this year. You can also look forward to seeing and hearing our messaging and our ads on mainstream media as the election grows closer and closer. You can look at the Trinidad Express, Trinidad Newsday, TV6, CNC3, Ian Alain Network, some Guardian media radio stations, AZP News, Synergy TV, OCM radio, and independent radio stations. I want to thank the management of all these media places I've called for facilitating our ads in the new year. However, it is not my way of blaming any media house, but I have to tell you what the facts are. The Trinidad Guardian newspaper management and editors refused our ad requests for the general election in their newspaper. Refused. And we did not want it free. We went to pay for it and they refused to give us. We did not have, so we will not have any ads in the Trinidad Guardian. A zero, zilch, nada. Look at all the others and you'll be fine. I was somewhat confused when this happened because CNC3 and some Guardian media radio stations, they took our ad, they took our bookings, they took our money, while only the Trinidad Guardian newspaper did not, even though they're all part of the same media network. Same media network. So, Guardian media insiders have informed me reliably that most of the Trinidad Guardian's management and editorial department are PNM trolls who absolutely hate the UNC. In the coming months, the Trinidad Guardian will viciously campaign for the PNM and be the PNM's media mouthpiece. So be warned, watch out for the Trinidad Guardian P&M trolls and their dirty tricks in the coming year, an election year. I say, they're good people in the Trinidad Guardian, but they're the P&M trolls who conduct what happens. Many of you know from our officials, you get questions from Guardian media, the Trinidad Guardian, don't get it wrong, not the whole Trinidad Guardian, media house. The newspaper, let's get it clear, it's a newspaper, you're right. Newspaper, the print media. They say that they're trolls there, P&M trolls, that will use that media house, that newspaper, to campaign openly for the P&M. Many of my officials know you'll get all these questions. They ask you questions, you give them an answer, and when you read it in the newspaper, it's not what you said to them. Well, you could call that setup, but that's their job, I guess, as P&M trolls. So going forward, know where to find our messaging on mainstream and social media. Keep yourselves informed and updated. People are speaking out and standing up. Rowley's games and gimmicks no longer fool people. This man is just a lazy, selfish old man. Lazy and selfish. The Rowley government told people to tighten their belts. These are difficult times ahead. Stop eating macaroni pie. Use the coal pot. Park up your cars. Ride bicycles. Don't even go to the cinema. And then you know what they did? No, they raise their salaries and pensions. Raise their salaries and pensions, and I want to tell you what they're going to do to you. I'm going to do a year in review starting from January, and we are now in December. But as I close off January, I want to tell you what they're coming to do to you in January. They have laid a bill in the Parliament. It is a bill that has to deal with pensions and public assistance. I'll just mention about the pensions. You know what they're coming to in that bill? This is what they do. You remember once they boasted about cutting 18,000 food guards? You all remember that? Yeah. And they were so happy and proud to tell you they cut 18,000 people from getting their food cards. And they're coming now to cut your access to pensions and public assistance. Whilst they're taking the 84 how much thousand and whatever pensions and allowances. That bill will make it harder for pensioners and persons getting public assistance to access it, to access those grants. They're monitoring how much money you have in the bank. That's what they're going to do. That's what this bill is telling us. I remember they want to go cashless. They want you to put every cent you have in the bank, remember? Remember? That is so they will have control of your money that you worked for. But the man says, I don't like my money sleeping out. Remember? I want my money. I don't like my money sleeping out. But I tell you, they're monitoring how much money you have in the bank. And if you travel abroad, they're monitoring when you travel abroad. They're monitoring if your children give you any allowance. If they help you with whatever you may have to get and do, it's coming to reduce your pension. That is their priority in 2025. So you really have to wonder where they're coming from. In the budget, Imbert complained that there are too many pensioners costing too much money annually in his budget statement. And here comes this bill. Right in December, this bill came. So what can you expect in the new year? The bill will make it harder for you to access these things and reduce your pension in the new year. That is their new year priority. But their all year priority is what? Raise their salaries, raise their pay, and offer everybody else 4%. So I just share that with you. This is what the government intends to do with you in the new year. Now, I just spoke about the frequent flyers. I just had my staff check something for me. How many days are there in 1 year? 365. Do you know how many days Rowley spent out of Trinidad and Tobago? 408 days. More than a year. So JJ about frequent flyers, they're not just flying, They're flying out and they're staying out. They're sleeping out. He don't like his money sleep out, but he's sleeping out of Trinidad and Tobago, and he's the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So, I'm telling you, The PNM is feeling it in their veins. Faris knows it. Stuart knows it. Imbert knows it. Camille knows it. Terence knows it, and all the others, they all know what is coming down in 2025. They know it. Every time the PNM calls a meeting, and they call their members and they get no response, they're feeling it. Every time they call a meeting and fewer people turn up, they're feeling it. Tonight we're feeling the energy here, where so many of you have turned out. So many of you come to share with us. And then what they've done, they've moved their meetings now. You notice they have outdoor meetings, big meetings. But their meetings are getting smaller and smaller. So what have they done? They moved them to indoor meetings in small venues because they can't get people trying to save face with their small numbers. Their own members are fed up and feeling the pain. When they refuse to give workers properly salary increases, but Rowley himself wants to take $50 million for fetting. You all remember that? Fetting and rum drinking, everyone feels it. When the country raises gas prices, Imbert 5 times, everyone feels it. When the country records almost 5,000 murders under the PNM, everyone feels it. And when they raise food prices, electricity prices, water rates, everyone feels it. So I think people have made up their minds to vote for a party and for a leadership that care for them. I see this election as a turning point where we rise or fall as a nation. This election is a turning point where we sink or sail as a people. This election is a turning point where we decide to choose light over darkness. This election is where we stand together, united, focused, strong, bold, and confident. So I ask you, stay calm, stay focused, be ready. The bell will ring at any time. Be ready. For 10 years of nothing, what is our answer? Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. 10 years of arrogance, incompetence, wickedness, and spite. What do? We vote them out. Vote them out. For all the lies and the cry and the mama guy, what do? Vote them out. Vote them out. And let me tell you why. On top of all the other reasons, let me give you this for this year alone. Far less for the other. When they come promise you manna from heaven, remember what they couldn't give you in 9 years, they can't give you in 9 weeks, huh? They've been there 9 going on 10 years and could not deliver. There's not a single thing they can put their hands on that they've built. Nothing. That stands. Even that terminal building will collapse if they continue to do the scrappy work that they're doing there with the cost overruns. So they cannot point to any legacy that they have, but this is their legacy, I'll tell you. Year in review, 2024, 12 months of this government. January, the Paria fiasco. Remember that? Look at the screen. 2024 began with one of the most damning condemnations of the PNM government when the country was finally able to see the findings of the Lynch Commission of Inquiry in the 2022 tragic, horrific deaths of the Paria divers. The report found that Paria, Rowley's pet company, was guilty of gross negligence with respect to the divers and the way they processed them that they ended up dying. They should be prosecuted. They spent $16.9 million taxpayer dollars to date. The families of these divers are still waiting on justice because the board of directors and the senior management under whose watch this tragedy occurred were never fired, and they're still living off taxpayers' hefty salaries. Rowley's golfing partner, here we go again, lawyer, eater food lawyer Gilbert Peterson. You know how much he was paid? $8.9 million. Not 1 cent to the families of the divers, not 1 cent. $8.9 million to represent Paria in the Commission of Inquiry. The divers' families have received nothing. Paria's chairman, Newman George, another golfing partner of the Prime Minister, Wasn't he the one who also went with him on when he went for his medical? Am I talking to you here? Yes, they had all gone with Rowley for medical. Yes, all the Gulfin partners went. But the chairman, Newman George, who had oversight of this debacle, Rowley's very close friend. And let me remind you, Rowley and his two partners, Eater Food, Gilbert Peterson lawyer, and Newman George, guess what? They both have townhouses in Inez Gate in Tobago. Side by side, you know what a townhouse complex is like? Just like where you're sitting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the road. They're neighbors all. The Gulfin partners, that's two I've named, they're more to name in a moment. So this fiasco in January of this year will go down as our nations in our history as one of the most barbaric, inhumane acts by any government. That is the legacy of this PNM. That is the legacy. February, $1 million wooden ladders. Remember those, Gavin? $1 million wooden ladders. In February, the PNM Rowley government, scandals continued when the country was made aware of the $1 million unusable ladders. Remember, they bought 20 wooden ladders for $999,000. That's $1 million from Amalgamated Security for the fire service. They could not use these ladders as they were unable to fit on the fire trucks. So that's $50,000 for a wooden ladder. Don't have me say that, please. You want to make a joke, you all make joke. These wooden ladders couldn't be used at all, not fit for purpose. Fire officers reportedly feared using ladders because they would risk getting injured. I am told that the ladders have been dumped at the back of the fire services headquarters. So that was February 2024. In February 2024, the Integrity Commission and the Auditor General's Office launched probes into this misuse of taxpayers' funds by the PNM government. March, SSA scandal. In March 2024, the country woke up one morning to hear from Rowley that the director of the SSA, Major Roger Best, Pastor Ian Brown, a special reserve officer assigned to the SSA, Security Supervisor Portel Griffith, and Sergeant Sherwin Waldron, assigned to the SSA, was sent on leave over what we later find out that they revealed to be a planned religious coup against the Rowley government. That was the scandal in March, SSA. Up to today, no one has been charged. No one has been charged. Nothing has come of that. He just fired all of them. Reminds me of what other people have done in other countries like Venezuela, where the dictators move out, key personnel everywhere. That was one of the most baffling stories to come out of a government, when murder and mad people as the star characters, which shows that Rowley cannot even control an organization on his own nose, because he is the chairman of the National Security Council. No wonder we have unprecedented levels of crime and murders under this government. Moving along, April, dead babies at the NICU. You remember that? You see, we forget these things, you know. And I'm just doing this per month, not per week or per day. The bacchanals continue, Bacchanal 1, Bacchanal 2, Bacchanal 3, Bacchanal 4. We're in April, Bacchanal 4, April. Dead babies at the NICU. In April 2024, the country was shell-shocked to learn about the deaths of 19 babies at Port of Spain General Hospital in the NICU. And you see, that is what spite and malice and ill will does. Because we had built the Couva Children's Hospital, which was fully equipped for children, had its own NICU, own unit there. Dr. Bodo would know. I'm seeing Dr. Bodo somewhere. He would know. Many of the doctors here and elsewhere will know. It was fully equipped to treat with those kinds of situations. So this heart-rending tragedy caused an uproar in the country. A POW investigation into the matter later found, among other things, this is what they found, POW. Up to now, we don't know which of this has been dealt with, which is a terrible Terence is doing. Some people call him the minister of death. But man, you should hang your head in shame and never show your face again when 19 newborn babies died under your watch and you still sitting there and going back for a seat. St. Joseph, what we say? Vote them out, vote him out, vote him out, vote him out. These were the issues that the PAHO found, like this: pure negligence, active surveillance of monthly HAI bloodstream infection, BSI rates, is not conducted. This is at the Portsmouth Hospital. This is what they found when they did it. Outbreak identification and number of outbreaks in the last year data are not reported. Microbiology stood at 40% compliance. The 40%, you're less than 50%, you're half dead, or more than half dead. 40% non-compliance. External performance evaluation and internal quality assessment are not performed. Policies and procedures for prevention of surgical site wound infection in OB theater is not done. There was an inadequate ratio of nursing professionals to patient ratio. That is the hallmark of the Rowley government and terrible Terence Singh. They are baby killers and harbingers of death and destruction in every sector in our country. That was April, moving along. Bacchanal 5, the Auditor General's report scandal. Missing $3 billion. In May, our country learned that one of the biggest thefts in our history, when the Auditor General revealed that $3 billion of taxpayers' money was missing from government statement of revenue. That was in May this year. Up to now, we can't find this money. Where the money gone? Where has this $3 billion gone? We will find out, because when we form the government, we'll be a thorough criminal probe. Where is this $3 billion? You know how much we could have done with $3 billion? Build schools, fix roads, yes. Improve the healthcare system. So much we could have done. Where's it? Box drains, yes, for the flooding. You're right. So much. We found out then there's $3 billion money missing. This, well, all right, we'll do an investigation there too. When we found this out now, it only came to light after Imbert refused to lay in Parliament, as the law provides, the Auditor General's report. Because what they were trying to do, he was trying to force the independent Auditor General to toe the line and cook the books. She refused to do it. The Rowley government faced allegations that it was bullying the Auditor General after it sent a pre-action protocol letter when the Auditor General refused to accept new statements, which were submitted after that understatement of revenue. And when it was discovered, they tried to send some new ones and tried to force her to redo the report. What they had to do eventually is come back to Parliament, come to the Parliament. These accounts were not accepted. The government moved Parliament to extend the time for the Auditor General to present a report after the time set by the law of the land. That matter is now before the courts, but it exposed the Rowley government as liars who up to now cannot say where the $3 billion have gone. This thieving PNM government has gone with $3 billion missing. But they will not escape. They could run, but they cannot hide. They can run, but they can't hide. We will go after them. We look for your money. That is your money. You pay those tax dollars. So, we still reach only half the year. We know when? June. Finish me. $3 billion missing. June. Jindal. Jindal, you remember Jindal? In June, Bacchanal number 6 occurred. Rowley tried to get Jindal Steel and Power Limited, led by its chairman, Indian businessman Naveen Jindal, to come to Trinidad to buy the Petrotrin refinery to process Maduro's Venezuelan oil. Jindal is internationally discredited. He is facing criminal charges back in his homeland of India. A Forbes report said the federal investigator booked Jindal for what it claims were kickbacks paid by him to an ex-minister in exchange for being granted coal mining rights. The question now is, who may have been in line from this thieving government to get kickbacks for the petrol refinery? We called them out. We all did. We called them out. We called on Rowley to address allegations of corruption involving Jindal and questioned his reported connection, this is Jindal, with Venezuela, Maduro's Venezuela. And then Jindal backed out of the corrupt deal because we exposed him. We exposed Jindal and he had to drop out and run. We exposed him. Remember that. You know, say, what is the opposition doing? You know how many exposures we have had? And that is the job of the opposition. A loyal opposition is to get the government accountable, keep the government transparent and accountable. That's part of our job. July, Bacchanal 7. FUL for Alan Warner. Alan Warner that MP Mulya spoke about. In July, Rowley and the government's blatant corruption were in full glare of the public when it was revealed that Rowley and Stuart Young, in his capacity then as a National Security Minister, Stuart Young, they had both sent messages to former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith for granting an FUL license and a blasting license, and a blasting license for Rowley's friend Alan Warner. The message was sent to Griffith in the morning, and by evening, Griffith had approved the FUL and sent it to Rowley's special branch officers to hand deliver to Alan Warner, all in one day. All in one day. All in one day to hand deliver to Alan Warner. This is the same Alan Warner Dr. Mulya just spoke about. And can I tell you, by the way, Alan Warner was the owner of the townhouses in Inez Gate, where all the fellows, the girlfriend partners, line up. Inez Gate. Corruption and abuse and misuse of office by all three office holders for FULs. While the average law-abiding citizen, you are denied the right to access a legal firearm. We say the UNC, when you put us in office, you will be entitled to apply for, and once you qualify, you will get a legal firearm to protect. You know, Brandbig's aunt, elderly lady, throat slit. If there was someone in that house with a licensed firearm. I saw a video where they took a man out of they dragging him like an animal. If there was someone else in that home with a licensed firearm. So it's for defense, to protect your loved ones, to protect your family. August is which month of the year? Which August? 8? 8. Bacchanal 8. HGC, $475 million contract for Chinese contractor. In August, the government was once again caught in corruption when Rowley's personal friend, executive chairman of NH International, Emil Lyer, said, this is his friend said it, he was deeply concerned about the intention of the HDC to award China Harbour Engineering Company Limited nearly $500 million contract to construct houses in Santa Rosa, even though the Chinese company submitted the highest bid of $475.8 million, when local contractors' bids were much less. Okay? By the way, the chairman of HDC is another partner of the Prime Minister. His name is Noel Garcia, Rudy. HDC Noel Garcia. Now, he doesn't own a townhouse in Inez Gate. But I'm told, and I'm asking if this is true, he has purchased a piece of land in Tobago that was the maker of the land date scandal, if you all remember, on that same compound. Senator Mark sent me some documents which I haven't had a chance to look at very carefully. But it says all in the family, all in the government partners and friends. And this bid, shame and scandal, the bid was scuttled after the Office of Procurement advertised they were going to review and investigate the award of this contract. HDC panicked and dumped the contract and the contractor. So it's a kickbacks, corruption, again, the legacy of this Rowley PNM. Legacy of the PNM. September 2024, property tax payment fiasco. In September, Rowley government's bacchanal scandalous and chaotic nature was again on display. Ministry of Finance implementation of the property tax payment system. We saw tens of thousands of citizens suffer from unpreparedness and poor implementation. The property tax could only be paid in person, with cash or check, at a BIR office. The deadline then set in September was for September 30. Caused thousands of persons to flood the BIR offices to pay up because they didn't want to have to deal with the penalties for non-compliance, because it was at the end of September. People were forced to get into the lines. They didn't have accommodation. You remember, out in the hot sun or the rain, punishing heat, unresolved queries, other traumas to pay property tax, which was then used to give Rowley and his ministers a pay increase. Think of all that. All that property tax they collect every month. They say, deadline is the month. Deadline. We're doing that every month. Every month. So what is the new deadline, Jayati? December. You're not going to. So they're scraping every cent, forcing you, because if you don't comply, they could seize your house, they could sell your house. It's a very frightening state of affairs, and that's where they are. So, again, in all its backwardness, full display. And again, who suffers? You. The citizens suffer. October, $50 million FET money. $50 million FET. In October, another glaring example of the Rowley government's corruption and wastage of tax dollars, full display. In the budget documents, Imbert announced a staggering increase in the entertainment budget in the Prime Minister's office, which was $890,000 for the year 23 to 24, 1 year. They raised that to $50 million for the year 24, 25. $50 million parang Saturday or when? Christmas party, I think was Saturday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In my budget response, I accused the Prime Minister of fetting while the public, urging the public hold strain, tough economic times. I noted that the $50 million earmarked for official events was put it together with what they gave for strengthening child protection system. So $50 million for the Office of the Prime Minister for fat and drinking rum, and $1 million allocated to strengthen child protection systems. Where are the priorities? A shame. A shame. They cut what by 5? They cut the Children's Authority, tell me too, $5 million. But $50 million for what? Fat and drinking rum. That's the official entertainment. But it's an election year. So let's see, Mr. Rowley, careful, you're spending our $50 billion this year. Because we're coming for you. We are coming to find out where this money's gone. Where is it going? So $50 million for fat and drinking, while citizens are told to do what? Tighten your belt and hold strain. That is the nature of the PNM. They choose fatting and rum drinking with their PNM pedophile friends over financing children's welfare and development. November. Now the year isn't finished yet, huh? November. Pay rise. In November, Rowley and his PNM MP's greediness was evident for all to see when they accepted the salary increases proposed by the SRC. This government raised their own pay after bankrupting the country. This was after offering workers a measly 4%, telling everyone to hold off until when? 2027. This is one of the most tone-deaf, callous, selfish moves ever made by a prime minister and his government. This, when the Minister of Finance was asked about it in an interview, or when he was dealing with the same Tobago airport scandal. When he was asked, he said, the Prime Minister has already made a statement. I have nothing to add. And I think the reporter got buffed, because she asked again. But what is your view on this? You were saying the Treasury has no money, we can't do anything. What is your... I have nothing further to say. The Prime Minister has pronounced. So what is it, a dictator? According to somebody who spoke earlier, the king and queen, he decrees. The rest of the cabinet has no say in this. And I'm asking tonight whether the young MP, Leon, is his name? Adrian Lyons, did not get back his seat because he was the only PNM MP who said he did not think they should take the salary increase at this time. It was a newspaper. He's the only PNM MP who said we should not take this pay increase at this time. So I don't know if that's why he's going to get back his seat or if there's more in the motor than the vessel. So here we come now, December. We're in December. Tobago Airport. Tobago Airport. This month, first week, December, I exposed the massive cost overruns at the airport. And as I said, the Tobago A&R Robinson International Airport project to the tune of about $500 million. And whilst I mentioned the name of Mr. Robinson as a good son of Trinidad and Tobago, and especially of Tobago, today is his birth anniversary, today the 16th. We're also the date of an election in the past. So we named the airport A&R Robinson after Robinson as a son of Tobago, who made Trinidad and Tobago proud, we named it. I understand they're rushing this airport, Dr. Munilal and Mr. Warner, so Rowley could put a cornerstone with his name on it. A plaque. He wants it, he's desperately pushing to get this airport to put this plaque. Put a plaque. I didn't hear that. The Prime Minister's best friend, Munilal told us, is again at the center of another scandal. He's a big contractor on the project. Now, right after we exposed them, Emmett came to lie, and I think Munilal dealt with it, so I won't go into detail, I think you all can remember. Then after the leaked cabinet note proved he was lying, he came with his tail between his legs to backtrack, and admitted the cost overruns. There is massive corruption going on in this project. I have called for a criminal investigation into this matter, and I maintain now that Imbert must be fired. But if he's not fired, we will vote them out. Come election, we'll vote them out. I saw the media recently dredging up a failed businessman, Mikey Joseph, to defend the PNM on this project. If the best person that the PNM could find to defend them is this total waste of time person, we know the PNM is in deep trouble, deep trouble. So as I come to a close at the end of the year, I've already given you a preview of what is going to be happening in January with the pensions and the public assistance. Pensions and public assistance. Yes. Overrun into the next year. So I have some special awards I want to give out tonight with your help. That is 12 months of PNM scandal, same as scandal in the PNM family, thieving and corruption in 2024, which shows that they are running our country to the ground with their laziness, greediness, and incompetence. So let's give out the end of year awards. 1, Liar of the Year. The award goes to Colin Imber for lying about the missing $3 billion and the $500 million for the Tobago cost overrun. 2, Most Vile and Evil Person of the Year. I have another one for Raleigh, don't worry. This award goes to Terence Dialsing for the death of those babies. Dengue deaths. Thousands of hospital deaths because of his incompetence with the healthcare. 3. They're baby killers. 3. Most Incompetent Person of the Year. All of the above, I guess. This award, we have a multiple tie here. Hines, Scotland. David West, Police Service Commission, Christine Kangaloo, and Keith Rowley for the violent crime crisis, most incompetent. Biggest hungry mouth, Eat a Food Fake Elite of the Year. The award goes to, we have a tie. Gilbert Peterson and Douglas Menz and Kerwin Garcia. These are the Eat a Food lawyers. The award for the most confused and senile note taker or writer Another time. Reginald Limo Amo, and the Trinidad newspaper editor. Six. Worst political miscalculation. In this award, we have a tie. Stuart Young's grab for political leader and prime ministership. Worst political miscalculation. He narrowly beat a fella from the next party, I won't say who, and Keith Rowley for taking the SRC increase. 7, Crybaby of the Year. The award goes to Keith Rowley for every postcard media presser and Prime Minister's questions in Parliament. Keith Christopher Rowley. Every postcard media briefing, he's forever buffing somebody and crying. And if I get left out for 5 minutes, by the next 5 minutes, he's complaining about everything I say and do. Most corruption accusations in 2024. The award goes to Alan Warner, Warry's best friend, for corruption accusations over contracts from the PNM THA, the firearm user's license, charged for illegal quarrying in Trinidad, and now accused of thieving quarry material in Tobago. He's been accused of that as well. So, that wasn't in 2024. Avery Trinidad was not in 2024. Most greedy and lazy person, we have another tie. The award goes to the entire PNM government. Final award, before I give us another special one. Final award, Bubbly of the Year. The award goes to, we have a group winner, all the people who still supporting Rowley and the PNM. And a very special award, the person who raises my blood pressure every time, all the time, Kevin Gibbs. Give him a round of applause. So, I say, together we are united. We are on the road to victory. Side by side, we stand united. We stand for justice. We stand for equality. We stand for progress. We stand for the common man and woman. We are the United National Congress. In the UNC, every creed and race find an equal place. In the UNC, every creed and race have equal opportunities. In the UNC, every creed and race can have the opportunity to prosper. So as I leave you tonight, I want to again thank you for your inspiring, unwavering faith and support of our great UNC party. The road towards winning government and restoring good, all-inclusive, effective governance and progress to all citizens of our great nation is not going to be an easy one. But we will overcome and win once we commit to joining together and fighting with strength, determination, and courage. Only with all hands on deck can we rebuild Trinidad and Tobago after this decade of destruction by the Rowley PNM. Let me remind you, as I always do, that you have had leaders before me. You will certainly have leaders after me, but you will never, ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. On behalf of my family, on behalf of the UNC, and on my own behalf, I wish all of you a very safe, Merry Christmas, and a bright and prosperous New Year. I thank you, and may God continue to bless you.
May I take this opportunity to warmly welcome the Flaming Word Choir to render you that powerful piece, the goodness of God.
Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that warm welcome. It is so good to be right here. And we say thank you so much to the Honorable Political Leader, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, for this invitation. Of course. You know, we do have some extras in the cast, and you will be hearing from them a little later. But we want to thank God. I want to bring greetings on behalf of Dr. Dave Allen, the President, the Chief Executive Officer, the Bishop of the Flaming Word Cathedral, and the Justice of the Peace of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. He's always willing to lend his support, and I want to say thank you so much to him. And you know, God has been good to us, hasn't he? And one of the most important things that, you know, even Dr. Allen would say, that we can talk about the goodness of God, but you know what? It is so important that we talk about it in the land of the living. We are in the land of the living. If you are in the land of the living, I want you to show your hands tonight. All right? And I want you to join us as we sing the song, because God has been good to us.
Love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You were close like no other. I know you as a father. I know you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness, your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Do you know that in 2016, 66 liters of diesel cost $100? Today, under the PNM, you get 20 liters of diesel for $100. The diesel you paid $100 for under the UNC now costs $327 under the PNM, which directly affects the cost of food, transport, and services. Guess who I'm voting for next time?
We stand united in the belief that if you empower community, the community empowers the country.
We are the party that gave every child a secondary school education since 2001.
By building more schools in 11 years than others did in 40. We believe that no child,
Rich or poor, should be left behind.
which is why we give every Form 1 student a laptop to expand their minds and their dreams.
We are the party that put police cars back on the streets.
And gave the police a $1,000 bonus because we believe that we should support the persons who are protecting you.
We are the party that reduced the murder rate to its lowest in 14 years. We expanded GATE, stopped the property tax, and increased maternity leave.
We are the party that invested in you and your community by investing in schools, community centers, lighted parks, 24-hour health centers, and the most extensive road repair program in decades.
We believe that education is always a solution and that no one should have to pick between sending their child to school or buying food.
We are the party that works for you. We are the first responders in every situation, working to deliver a better standard of living for you and your family.
And most importantly, we have confidence in you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a campaign, it's a movement based on building communities and strengthening families.
Come out and join us, and together we will get the nation working and moving again. Our children will once again have access to GATE and technology.
We will improve healthcare.
By cutting the time it takes to see a doctor in an emergency, we will establish a senior citizen unit in every major hospital and staff the hospital with the doctors and nurses you need to create a first-class healthcare system. We will focus on creating high-paying jobs, fixing our laws to remove red tape, and ensuring that you and your family are safer. We will reduce corporate taxes to jumpstart the economy, create a special investment zone along the East-West corridor, and work with entrepreneurs to build a digital economy. This is an investment in your community to move the nation forward and get TNT working again.
Whether you are from 4th Street in Barataria to Railway Road in Dow Village, from Green Street in Tunapuna to Clark Road in Debe, from La Hoketa to Moruga, from Mayaro to Scarborough, we are one people with the same dreams of a better tomorrow. And when we stand together, we win together. We are UNC and proud.